So Metvy as a startup started off in 2018, right? And early on, my objective as a founder was to build a networking startup, basically trying to figure out how college kids could actually connect with relevant mentors and relevant people around them through an app. So imagine if there is an artificial intelligence algorithm that automatically tells you that, hey, Utkarsh, there is someone called Ria who's relevant as per what you're looking for 200 meters away from you, and you could probably book a meeting at 6 p.m. on Friday because you both happen to be available at that particular period of time. That's what we were trying to early on build as Metvy. However, over a period of time, we realized that most of the youngsters are looking for mentors, are looking for jobs, are looking for skill development, right? But before I jump onto that, I want to talk about how things got started for us. So initially, I was working with a startup myself. It was called Sproutbox, where I was interning in marketing and content, right? And that happened in the very first year of my college. So when most of the kids were having fun, they were attending parties, they were actually going on dates. I was there working on my own venture and trying to figure out how I could make my venture a success, or how I could be a successful entrepreneur. And what is the best way to be an entrepreneur? And that is to actually work with entrepreneurs. Because at that point of time, there was no cohort that I could simply enroll to and get everything that I think is required to learn or that you need to know to be a successful entrepreneur. So I bought a lot of courses. I attended a lot of networking events. I started working with the startup myself and tried to learn as many things as I possibly could in that period of time. Right. However, after doing that for 6 months, I realized that the idea that I had identified by that period of time wasn't good enough for me to actually start working on it. Right. At that point of time, I just did or conducted a very small experiment. It was a very simple experiment. I used to travel from Gurgaon to North Campus every day because I myself happen to be an alumnus of Kirodimal College, Delhi University, right? So I used to travel from Gurgaon to North Campus every day. And during my metro rides, I started having a conversation with the people who were sitting right next to me in metro, right? I started asking them, hey, uh, I want to be an entrepreneur, and it would be great if you could talk to me about the things that you are good at. And that way, almost on a daily basis, I started networking with people and realizing how it could change my own life. And then I thought, what if we created a product that could actually help everyone to have such experiences? To connect with relevant people without having a conversation with them, without approaching them using artificial intelligence. And that's exactly what Metvy was early on. So in 2018, January, we started working on this. In 2018 September, we first launched our minimum viable product, right? Because I and Rajan were great at marketing. In a period of 1 month, we were trending on Play Store. We got 8,000 users within our first 30 days, and we hadn't spent a single penny on our marketing. We had been able to advertise our product, talk about it, and I'll further talk about how we did this in our marketing session. But that's how we got started. And post that, we were actually working around 16 to 18 hours a day. So obviously, it was supposed to take its own, the law of averages catches up, right? At some point of time, your body tends to pay for it and it gets exhausted. So after working for 16 hours regularly for about 6 months, I was diagnosed with hernia. Rajan was diagnosed with kidney stones, and we were both hospitalized. We were both in a situation where we did not know what to do because all the investor meetings that we were having weren't going through. We came from middle class families, so we did not know where to get money from. And our existing users were leaving the product because they wanted us to further improvise it, for which we did not have the money. Early on, our tech friends, our engineering friends had helped us out to get the product right. But now they were asking for money because they did not have enough time to consistently help our product out or help us out in getting things right. And that's the reason why we needed money. However, after multiple failures to raise funds, we were finally able to get funded from Delhi government backed incubator. And that is how our entrepreneurial journey got started. Because we hadn't raised a lot of money, Rajan decided to take up a full-time role. with a multinational, and I continued to work on my venture because I was 1 year younger to him, right? So he had graduated and I was about to graduate. So in 2019, I worked alone on my product to figure out what the people really wanted. We hired a few tech interns, figured out how to build a product. And for someone coming from a business background, I did not have any understanding of how to build products, right? So I really struggled, made a lot of mistakes. But over a period of time, finally in January, February 2020, we were able to figure out what we wanted to build. At this point of time, we had already got a lot of users. We were in talks with investors. We were in process of raising a lot of funds. But then what happened? The pandemic, right? March 2020, the pandemic happened, and we realized that we were trying to build an offline networking app, right? Making people meet outside the online world, which was now not possible. So at that point of time, we really did not have a lot of money left. Our investors decided to back off, and we were in a position where we did not know what to do. But at that point of time, looking at the back end, we realized that, hey, can we really understand what people are looking for at this point of time? And we realized that a lot of people were looking for mentors. A lot of people were looking for skill development. A lot of people were looking for an experience where they could get access to everything that they wanted to learn one particular skill at an affordable cost. And that's how the idea of cohorts came into our heads, right? And that's how cohorts started. So we conducted an experiment, it worked out well, and we started reaching out to a lot of kids from IIMs, IITs, SRCCs, LSRs, and Kirodimal colleges, and Xavier's and Narsi Munjis and Christ's, and getting all of these people on board. And over a period of time, we realized that a lot of these people were willing to pay for this experience. And that is how Metvy pivoted towards an edtech startup. So 2 years down the line, from 30,000 investment alone that I took from my mother, we are now valued at over 20 crores. We started off from a middle class family. So again, we did not take any money from our parents. And here we are. But the point is that the entire experience to be an entrepreneur requires a lot of hustle, a lot of failures, a lot of setbacks, and a consistent urge to make things work. And that's what your journey is also going to look